What's good in the hood?
What's up? My hair look cool?
It looks fantastic.
Cool. That's all I'm worried about.
You look great.
Except for my fucking red forehead.
You got some sun yesterday.
Like a tomato.
A little bit, but you're good. This podcast is a little bit different. This is the beginning of me and Lane's podcast. This is nothing to do with Drewcast. Lane is visiting today from Texas, and
This is creaky as shit.
I try to tell you, dude, that thing's so creaky.
That's why I'm going to be doing this the whole time.
Well, anyways, so we decided we want to do a podcast that's not... Stop. We decided we wanted to do a All right.
What if I'm just back like this the whole time?
Stop rocking.
I'm not moving.
We just want to do a podcast, something different. That isn't all interviewy like mine. So, anyways, what's up, Lane? Fuck, dude, I got the laughs too damn hard. I haven't laughed like that in a while.
The gigs.
So, yeah, man, black cherry. What kind's your favorite seltzer?
Mine?
Fuck me, dude. This is gonna be retarded. It's just gonna be us laughing our ass off.
That's fine.
For a
I
while.
don't think you can say retarded anymore.
You can definitely say retarded because my brother said on the last podcast I did, he's like, you can't say retarded. And I was like, no, because your mom's house, which is like an insanely big podcast, they say retarded all the time and it never gets taken down on YouTube.
Is that those two chicks?
No, it's Tom Segura, Christina Pajinski, and like they have random comedians on, dude. It's super freaking funny, actually. If you haven't checked out your mom's house, check it out because it's hilarious.
What's wrong with the two chicks?
That's Barstool Sports.
But are they still a thing?
I heard that like one of them had a fallout and like she dated some dude that was like a lawyer. I don't know. And like basically he fucked it all up. And like so no, they're not still a thing. I think they replaced one of the chicks. And now it's something totally different. I think. But yeah.
That's too bad.
I never listened to it. Was it good?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
It was like girls like trying to talk like guys, like about like sex and, you know, dirty shit. But it was the #1 podcast in like the world. So
What was it called?
Call her
Call
daddy.
Her Daddy. Yeah.
I never listened to it other than a couple clips that I saw on Instagram and stuff. But
Yeah, I didn't either.
I think the reason it did so well is because there's like a million Talking with the Boys podcast, 1,000,001 now.
Yeah, exactly.
But it didn't exist at all. They were like the only girls that were doing it. So where all these guys were kind of fighting over like market space, they were kind of their own thing, and they didn't really have to compete for the same audience. Because dudes were not listening to that.
They had it easy then, if you ask me. But
Yeah.
I know they made millions.
Yes.
Millions.
Yeah.
Like, they had a whole big... And then somebody wanted to, like, give them a contract. Was it Barstool?
It had something to do with Dave Portnoy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really know what it was.
What's your favorite thing about the 4th of July?
That's a weird segue, I guess, but
I don't care. We get into different topics
my favorite
fast
thing
here.
about the 4th of July?
Yeah.
I don't know, like recognizing America's badassery, but it's like celebrating that more than usual, but it's kind of hard now. That's not very professional of you.
I don't care. I'm not
Just
professional.
you in the middle of me speaking.
Sorry. So it's the badassness of
Yeah.
Yo, what's up?
Yeah.
America.
Yeah. I don't know. What's your answer there?
Mine is blowing shit up.
Yeah.
Like as a kid, like my Uncle Lance, he would in Lawrence, Kansas, we'd cross the Missouri line. We would go get TNT, like legitimate sticks of dynamite.
It sounds safe.
And yeah, but it was the best. So we'd get legitimate sticks of dynamites, my dad and my Uncle Lance. Then we would get bottle rockets, which you can't normally get in Kansas, so that way we could have bottle rocket wars. And then and then my dad and my Uncle Lance would just be crazy as hell. And I remember him putting TNT underneath a trash can one time, and it shot up like 200 feet in the air, like just boom, and that whole concussion. And every time I think of the 4th of July, I think of blowing stuff up, clearly celebrating America, but
Oh, do you mean like your favorite pastime, favorite tradition?
yeah, tradition, my bad, when it comes to the 4th.
Yeah, I guess like the fireworks, it's pretty basic. There was always like a golf tournament that my family would play in Pratt, like a Scotch foursome. You ever done one of those?
What's a Scotch
I
foursome?
kind of forget the rules. I think it's where you take turns. It's like 2-on-2 in a group, and then you take turns. You both drive every hole, and then you take the best shot.
But it's 2 versus 2
Yeah, but I mean it's a big tournament, but you play in like
in twos.
groups of 4. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, if it's groups of 4s, then it's just called best ball.
No, I'm pretty sure it's called a Scotch foursome.
That's the legit term
I
for
think
it?
that's there might be a little bit of a separate rule there, but I know that you both drive every time,
And then you use the
and then
best
you use
ball.
the best hit after that.
Okay.
I mean, it might be the same thing. I don't know. I haven't done it in a few years, but probably. Like
I
5,
should
6
know
years.
this because I love golf, and I've never heard of a Scotch foursome. Or,
Look up the rules.
Okay.
We have the internet. That's why we have this for everyone watching at home. That's why we have this computer in front of us to answer live Steve questions.
Scotch foursome.
Make sure you type in golf after that,
No shit, right?
because who knows what'll come up. See, told you.
How to play the Scotch foursomes golf format. Scotch foursomes is an alternative shot golf format. Alternate shot golf
We're not
format
doing screamo
for
in between shots.
2-player teams. In either match, player stroke play. The term may refer to a variation of foursomes, although it is also used as a synonym for foursomes. In foursomes, one player on the team hits the drive, then the partner hits the next shot, and the next player continues alternating shots with one ball.
Yeah, there's in the modified version.
In the modified version of the Scotch foursomes, both golfers hit drives, then select the best drive and play the alternate shot format, beginning with the second shot.
Yeah, so it's not best ball. It's you just alternate shots.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd never heard of that.
Yeah, it's fun.
We should play it tomorrow.
Don't we only have 3 of us?
Yes, we do. So no, that won't work. How are you at golf, by the way?
I'm fine. Like, I'll be really good on, like, one hole and then absolutely terrible on the next hole. Like, I have the potential to do good at golf, but I'm not good at golf, if that makes sense.
That's like everybody.
No,
Kinda.
I mean, like, I'm
You
just
probably could
worse.
be good. You could probably crush the fucking ball.
See, that's the thing. I don't know how to drive straight. So my ball goes like 350 yards, but 100 of it is going this direction. Because I slice
Yeah, you
everything.
slice like a mother. That's my problem, too.
So if I'm going to hit like straight, like if the pin's straight ahead, I'll turn my feet like 45 degrees and just hit that direction.
You have enough confidence in
Yes,
that?
because it does it every single time. I don't know why. I mean, I'm sure it's my club head or something. I don't know.
At least you're consistent.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
I mean,
You're
at the drive,
swinging like that. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
No, even some people, like, even I'll slice the shit out of one and then I'll hook one, pull it. But I shot my first 84 the other day, which was, I thought, pretty good.
I don't know if it seems good.
They say if you're in the 80s, like, you're doing pretty good. Not great, but most guys, I would say 90% of golfers shoot in the 90s or 100s. So to break 80s is always a clutch thing. I got a random question for you. Do you believe in aliens?
I mean, yeah, I don't not believe in aliens.
What do you think?
Like, if I found out that they existed, like if they came, they showed up one day, I'd be like, oh, okay.
Makes sense.
It wouldn't surprise me because the universe is fucking huge. So, it wouldn't, there's nothing that says that they shouldn't exist. Like, there's nothing to say that they don't. There's no religious doctrine that says that they don't, as far as I know. It's not like the Bible says aliens aren't real. They don't address it. But it seems weird that if God can create this infinite universe, that we would be the only thing in it. But also we could be, I don't know. 'Cause
Yeah.
as far as we've seen, there's not, there's no other life that our technology has been able to discover.
I believe there's aliens. I mean, why wouldn't there be? Like you said, the
Yeah.
universe is so vast.
It's
But
a good
also,
word, vast.
like seeing the movie Signs and all that stuff. Do
Yeah.
you remember that?
Yeah, it's terrifying.
Yeah, Macklin and I went and saw it with the Hurd sisters or whatever. Those, yeah. Anyways,
Nice.
so we were
Were
just
you at
in
the
high
hot
school.
one or not the hot one? I mean, they were both pretty hot, especially for southwestern Kansas.
I
But
don't
Dustin
know. I don't
Brown
know.
did
I
date
broke
one.
up. I broke up with Logan, and
That's
I
what Dustin dated too, right?
Dustin dated. You mean Michael or
No, Dustin dated Logan Hurd.
everybody dated Logan? I was the first though. So I dated Logan Hurd.
He was
and then,
the first.
And then Matthew dated Logan, or then Jeremiah dated Logan Hurd, and then Matthew.
What did that mean to date someone back then, though? Like, let's run this back. What did dating someone in middle school look like? Especially when they were 60 miles away.
Dating somebody in middle school, dude. It was like, first of all, you would get those butterflies, because there was no girls in Haviland, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So, like, for instance, when I dated Sydney from Meade, or Logan from Protection.
Coldwater Protection. I don't know.
Tabby from. Do you remember Tabitha? Anyway, so I just remember getting like this, like, I don't know, just like all those puppy dog love feelings, and then I'd get on my instant messenger MSN, and I knew that they'd be on it, and so I'd like always type a little song quote and try to be cute. Yeah, dude, I was so stupid. But
Dude,
that was dating back then. And then if you did date a girl in Southwest Kansas, you saw them maybe once or twice, and then you guys broke up because you would be busy, school, didn't have a car.
but it was mostly about, like, at track meets, right?
Track
Yeah.
meets was the biggest meat market
Yeah.
ever, like, for girls. It was awesome. That was the best. But back to aliens.
Oh, okay.
So I do believe the universe is super vast, but I have had Josh in my ear for quite some time.
And he went to MIT? No offense to Josh. Josh's a smart guy. He can build you a house, but I wouldn't trust him on thermonuclear dynamics or anything like that.
I think he went.
That would be his brother.
I think he went to HA, Hardinger Academy. But hey, that's a good school though, if you ask me. You'll learn a lot
For
of shit.
physics?
Well, he lives in Kansas. We live in the city right now.
Yeah.
And so he's taking, from what I've understood, he is taking all these experiments that the flat earthers say, just go outside and do this and like zoom in on the moon. The moon doesn't move, right? Does it rotate?
Does the moon rotate?
Yes.
No, it does not.
Okay. So what's up with craters on the inside of the moon? Whenever you stare up at the moon and you see you see craters, right?
Right.
Well,
wait, time out. The moon does. Why do I not know this?
You know what I'm saying?
No. I don't know what I'm saying.
Okay.
Because the Earth orbits the sun, and it also is spinning like this. Right?
Yes, but is the face of the moon consistently facing Earth? Here, let me Google.
I don't know. That's a good question. I feel like I should know this if I'm going to criticize other people on there.
Exactly. This is Josh A.
But that's the thing with conspiracy theorists. They spend their whole existence studying one thing. So when you don't know how to answer one of their questions, they act like they've got you. The moon does rotate on its axis.
The moon does rotate on its axis. One rotation takes nearly as much time as one revolution around Earth. If the moon were to rotate quickly several times each month or not rotate at all, Earth would be exposed to all sides of the moon. Wait, what? So it's not exposed to all sides of the moon? Well, I got another one for you, okay?
Anyway, yes, it does.
Okay. Well, I got another one for you. So, say, when you see a crater,
right?
Real quick, I'm going to look up pictures of craters and tell me what you see.
I don't know, probably the mark that an asteroid left.
Okay. Take a look at all these craters.
Yes.
Okay. What do they have in common?
They're circles.
They all look like pools, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, so clearly everything that enters the atmosphere comes straight down, Josh says. And it hits, explodes, and it creates a pool. If an asteroid came and it was coming in, so here's Earth at an angle, and it hit, wouldn't it make skid marks like dig into the Earth? Why does everything look like a fucking pool? God, I'm stumping you today. Like,
You're not stumping me. I haven't thought about this ever. It's not something. Now, has he ever looked up the counter to this? Because I bet we could type in, do meteors hit the Earth at a 45-degree angle? And I guarantee we could find our answer in about 10 seconds.
fuck, dude, I think we fucked up. Alright, well, we didn't fuck up. Somehow, we're doing this on GarageBand. Basically, we got 2 tracks, and it's just more of a pain in the ass than I thought it would be to hook up 2 mics. So, from now on, we're going to look shit up on the phone and not the computer, because I want to keep my eyes on the tracks and make sure that they're recording. So, anyways, back to me whooping Lane's ass in this whole crater thing.
Yeah, but then again, I typed in the question into Google and a scientist explains like that.
Then explain it.
Most meteors, no, sorry, that's the wrong one. It is circular, the craters, because the effect of the impact is determined by the distance to where the meteor lands. When everything depends on the distance to a point, you can only have circles. So, the example they give is try throwing a stone in water, and you notice that every single time the ripple is a circle, no matter what angle you throw it at.
Interesting.
Like, that's I told you, that's the problem with the conspiracy theorists. They spend their whole existence trying to figure out their one thing, and they'll ask you a question like that, and you don't have the answer right away because you have a life and haven't spent time looking at stuff like that. And when you don't know how to answer the question, they're like, oh, see, I stumped you. Not really. You just have never, looked at that information before, and they spent their whole lives looking at how to prove a counter. It's like I don't want to say friend, an acquaintance. Yeah, definitely. A person I know is very skeptical about the Holocaust. Which,
really?
yes.
They think it wasn't real?
Yes. And they think the numbers were really inflated, and they're like, basically that it's this Jewish, the Jews came up with this to get sympathy or whatever, to work on taking over the world. I don't know. But his point is like, well, why were the doors in Auschwitz made of wood? If there were wood doors, then the gas could get out, and it wouldn't have actually been a gas chamber. And
what about garage doors when people commit suicide and put the thing in?
When they first ask the question and you don't know how to answer it, they're like, see, I got you. But then you look it up for a second, you're like, oh, wood doors would have worked perfectly fine.
Well, like Sam Tripoli says, if is everything a conspiracy? The answer is yes. Some people believe in everything being a conspiracy. I, for one, do a little bit of research, and I try to knock it down. But like, for instance, JFK, who do you think killed him?
Lee Harvey Oswald.
Yeah, okay. No, I think
he said he killed them, and then he killed a cop right afterwards too.
Do you think he was hired by anybody?
Maybe. I mean,
do you think it was the CIA?
Could have been.
I think it was.
I wouldn't shock
All
me.
I'm saying is I think the CIA killed JFK. I would pull up the video. I don't know. Have you seen the video?
Of his head getting exploded?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, a billion times.
And you live like right by where that happened.
Yeah, I drive past it every single morning to work.
Like the same road he got shot on?
Yeah, like the spot he got shot on.
You ever see JFK?
I live on the road he got shot on.
You ever see JFK standing on the side of the corner?
JFK Jr. just waiting.
Don't they say that, doesn't Alex Jones, or I don't know, QAnon say that JFK's still alive?
Yeah. No, JFK Jr. His son, for some reason.
And didn't he die in a helicopter crash?
Yeah, like 30 years ago.
Okay.
It's like one of the first things I remember seeing on the news.
Yeah, I remember seeing that too.
And the people stand at the corner where his dad got killed, waiting for him to come back.
They legit stand there? You see
Yes.
people?
On the weekends when I go by, they're standing there with their signs.
What did the sign say?
I don't know, like, welcome back, JFK Jr. I don't fucking know. I don't read them, but...
Some people are stupid as hell. And, like...
Most people.
Sometimes I wonder if I'm falling into that category the more I do dive into conspiracies. I really do. But then I kind of look back and I realize I'm right 90% of the time. I only believe in the COVID narrative of conspiracies.
Yeah, what are the conspiracies though? Because I feel like that's the thing. That's why I don't believe in
The World Economic Forum released it. This is what I believe, dude. The World Economic Forum released it. You have Fauci and all these people warning about a virus coming. And I know scientists say, you know, every fucking 60 years or whatever, a new virus comes. That's why he said in this next administration, you're going to see a virus come out and all this bullshit. Well, anyways, it came out of Wuhan. At first, they were saying it was from a bat. Do you think it was from a bat?
Well, it's a bat coronavirus.
I get that, but so, from a wet market?
No, definitely not.
Okay.
It came from the lab.
But it was racist back then to say that.
Yes.
Okay, so that makes me go, huh, somebody's fucking lying.
Yes.
And then, so I go, okay. And then I say to myself, clearly I know it's from a lab, Wuhan lab. And then everything's getting censored. If you even say Wuhan lab, you're fucking taken off Twitter. So that makes me a little bit more conspiratorial. And then now the narrative is it did come from a lab. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess what
it's
I'm
more
trying to say
than
is
not
that is exactly why I believe Klaus Schwab, you all know Harari, they all set it up. The World Economic Forum, they dropped the virus so that way they could vaccine everybody. So that way there would be chips underneath their arms and they could control them with what do they want to do? It's social credit scores.
Okay, so where does China fit into this narrative?
China's about it.
China.
Xi Jinping's about it. He's part of the World Economic Forum.
Every single world leader goes to the World Economic Forum. Donald Trump spoke at the World Economic Forum.
What did he say?
I don't know, probably that fucking globalism's stupid, but I mean the Chinese think so too. So, no, I mean I don't think the World Economic Forum leaders are necessarily good people, but I think it's way more likely that this event happened and they thought, how can we take advantage of this? Because it seems pretty clear what happened. It seems that there were some dumbass scientists working in a lab in Wuhan on bat coronaviruses with terrible safety protocols, and it leaked out of the lab and then infected people at the wet market, which is like, I don't know, 200 meters away. So, and it's not shocking because if you've been to China, their safety protocols on everything are terrible. Like 1,000 people die a year on escalators over there.
Okay.
Because there's no, I mean, hate OSHA all you will, but
OSHA's legit.
I mean, there's some stuff that's ridiculous.
Yeah, safety procedures sometimes.
But a lot fewer people die in workplace-related accidents here than over there. So it's not crazy to reason that they had terrible containment protocols. It got out, and they lied about it at first because they're like, oh, there's no evidence of human-to-human transmission, and they knew that there was. The Taiwanese at the time were saying, yes, there is.
So what do you think of like the New World Order and Lockstep and the Great Reset? Who do you think's promoting that? I know they're not talking about it as much anymore, but why would they talk about that? Like, what the fuck? We need a Great Reset. To reset what?
Yeah, it's because it's a bunch, like, that is not really even a conspiracy. It's just a bunch of, like, rich people that think they know how to run your life better than you do because they're insane and they're power hungry, and this has existed forever. And so when they use the New World Order or like the Great Reset, yeah, they mean that they want to have like this borderless one kind of world institution that makes rules. Now, the problem with the New World Order is that phrase has been used a lot, and it means all that it means is the order that the world is conducted in is a new one, it's changing. So everyone's like, George Bush said this after Desert Storm or whatever, or after the fall of the Soviet Union. Yeah, he did. He said, now this is the start of a new world order. All he meant was that this is the start of democracies being in control of how the world works. Because the Soviet Union just fell and communism was not a threat anymore.
I got you. It's kind of like, hey, some shit happened, so this is a new way of doing things now.
And the Chinese right now say they want a new world order.
Because they want their world order.
Because they want, yes. America's
been the powerhouse for the last 60 years.
Yes.
And now we're kind of slipping to the wayside.
Well, we're still drastically more powerful than everybody else, yes.
In what way? In what way?
Pick a way.
Military.
Yes.
We trump everybody.
Yes.
So when they say Russia has a nuclear bomb called the Satan II and it travels at hypersonic speed, we could shoot that bitch down?
I'm not sure. I don't know exactly the specs of the weapons, but I mean,
I don't think anybody does.
the
right?
problem with that is, like, nuclear is kind of zero sum because you can only launch it if you're willing to die.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's why no one's used one since World War II.
Because you're just going to get a nuke up your ass
Yes.
the second you press the button.
Yeah, and our missile
What if you
defense
have
is
bunkers? Like, what if Putin has a bunker?
I'm
and
sure
he's
he
like,
does have a bunker.
Right.
But
And
the
he
rest
could
of
be like,
Russia doesn't have a bunker.
press the button while he's
Yeah.
in the fucking bunker.
And then, okay, come out to a nuclear wasteland whenever you want.
'Cause
Like,
it's
our
gonna
missile
be a
system,
wasteland.
defense systems are a lot better than theirs in total. So they would kill people in America, but we would decimate their country.
Okay.
And conventional forces, we're obviously not moving in the right direction because we're teaching people in the Navy that they need to learn how to use correct pronouns,
And they have tampons in men's restrooms.
which is insane.
Who the fuck is believing this, though? Who the fuck's like, yeah. Well, speaking of which,
Yeah.
keep going.
No,
Actually,
go ahead, because
I can't show you, but I took a picture. Me and Lane just went to Target, and they said, we stand with transgender.
trans rights are human rights.
The fuck is going on? I have not said to a trans 30-year-old, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Why are they... What the fuck?
I mean, Target's doing it because they're going to make
Target's
some money
doing it
off
because
of
of
it. Yeah.
capitalism, baby.
It's so funny that they
Capitalism.
rail against capitalism and then
They fucking... Yeah, like I was telling Lane, no CEO of Target is chilling on his yacht thinking, I really care about trans rights right now. I really care. It's bothering me that they're not getting enough human rights. So let's put some shirts out there and let them know they're not alone. Yeah, right, dude. It's all about just fucking capitalism at its finest, just being part of the wave and catching on and selling shit.
It's like, that's why I think for so long these companies like Disney, well, they started doing it, 5-6 years ago, whenever, trying to incorporate like the gay agenda and the trans agenda into like kids stuff. It's like nobody under the age of 50 has a problem if you want to be gay or if you want to be trans. Nobody cares. The problem is when you start convincing kids to do something because you want them to be part of your agenda. That's what people started having problems with. And once people started figuring out what these companies were doing, their product just started flopping, like the new Buzz Lightyear movie. Nobody went to watch that, dude. Nobody.
Nobody did?
It was a flop. It was the second worst Pixar movie after Cars 3. No, it was the worst ever. And Cars 3 was the second worst ever.
What was like the box? Like,
It was only like 45 million opening weekend.
what do they normally get? Like, let's say, Encanto. What did Encanto get out the gate?
Encanto, but it didn't
Encanto, I should
open
know
just
that.
in theaters because it released to on demand, so you couldn't
Oh,
make that
okay.
comparison. So you'd
Okay,
have to
sorry.
say, like Toy Story 3 opening weekend. Toy Story 3 was 145 million.
Dang, and it should be more now because people are like
Right.
more gung ho to go to theaters. See what Top Gun did.
I think it was like 200 million or something like that.
Top Gunny Gun. If you
Top
haven't
Gun
seen that,
opening
you guys-
weekend box office was 160 million.
All right. I wonder what Jurassic World was. We won't keep going on it. But
No, but the point is, like, people are starting to be like, oh, I don't want this. And as soon as it stops working for them and they're not making money off of it, the only reason they were doing
They
it
will
is
stop?
because they thought they could make money. Yes,
they will stop. So
they have to stop.
when is the craziness going to stop? I have nothing against gays. Shout out my cousin Jazzy. I love you to death. Leanne, love you too. You guys are the best. You take care of Luna so good. I have nothing against gays. I have
Nobody- yes.
Nobody does.
No,
But for some odd reason, why are they saying we're attacking trans?
because the only way that this other side can secure their votes, because they have terrible policies, they have terrible ideas, and they're running the country into the ground. The only way that they can secure voters is to convince them that they're oppressed and marginalized. And it's the other side that, because we don't care and we don't want the gay flag. I don't like the gay flag. I hate the gay flag because it takes precedence over the
flag.
American flag.
I agree.
The American flag should be something that everybody is about.
Yeah.
And a whole month.
Gays should fall under that flag.
Yes,
Like,
they
it really
do.
does.
They
Yeah.
do.
Okay.
They're just as American as anybody.
I know that there's a lot of traditional Christians that are like, you can't be gay. And I'm not a part of that traditional Christian movement. I don't know, but I think
I mean,
I've always been a rebel in general, so I've always, yeah. So I
it
don't have a
probably.
problem with it.
I mean, I don't have a problem with it as far as being like an American, because you can't start legislating people's behavior.
Yes.
You can't, because then you become tyrannical. And that's what the
Yes.
United States was
Yeah.
never supposed to be. That's why we have freedom of religion, freedom of speech. And now that's include freedom of sexual orientation. That's good. I mean, like, if you're following, like, the Bible, it's very hard to justify that. But how many things that we do are also probably not justified in the Bible. So there's no,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and,
So
I feel like that's not up to me as an
It's not.
American
It's-
to judge on that.
it
It's up
is-
to God and the person.
Yes.
Just like
100%.
I'm gonna have to approach God someday and be like, yeah, just like
What
there's a-
shouldn't you have done?
yeah.
Have
you seen
Podcast After Dark?
Yeah. Have you seen Righteous Gemstones? The Righteous Gemstones.
No,
It's
but
on HBO, dude.
I've
It's
heard
so
it's really funny.
So basically, it's like a Joel Osteen type thing, and you got Joel Osteen, who is. It's not about Joel Osteen, but it's the premise of a mega church, and what it is there's this pastor and his 3 kids, 2 boys and 1 girl, and they're degenerates. And like the first episode, he's married, and he goes, one of the sons goes off to a retreat, and he comes back, he's like, honey, I'm home, you know, and then he gets a random text, and it's him doing cocaine with all the people on the retreat, and they have like a men's retreat, and they have hookers behind them naked. Anyways, he's like, if I don't get him, and the thing says, if I don't get $1 million by tomorrow night at midnight, this goes public. And he's Joel Osteen status,
Yeah.
like his dad. So it's a big deal. But there's one scene in the second season where his son is masturbating all the time in his socks, and he's finding socks all around the house, and he's like, damn it, another one! Like, he picks it up, and so his son's playing a video game because they're rich as hell, and they have like all that virtual reality stuff, and his son is playing video games, and he comes up to his son, he's like, hey, I need to talk to you. He's like, come here. He's like, I've noticed a lot of socks around the house. He's like, I know what you're doing in those socks. And he goes, you know, every time you go to do what you do in those socks, there's a little bell in heaven that rings. Ring, ding, 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 ding. And your grandma, your grandpa, your Aunt Debbie that passed, they all come together and look down on you and watch. Anyways, I thought it was fucking funny as hell.
No, I've heard good things about it.
That show is fantastic. Have you, this is my ADD showing up. Have you heard of cow mutilations? Like cow mutilations. My friend Scotty, you know, I showed you his music videos.
Yeah.
He's the one who turned me on to, like, we were talking about random stuff, and he goes, have you ever looked up cow mutilations? And it's kind of crazy. If you Google cow mutilations, there's a whole bunch of cows that, like, one of them's in Oregon, and the organs of the cow are perfectly removed with no blood, and like the cuts on it were surgical, and they were saying it's possibly aliens. Why would they take cow shit? Like,
And how would no one notice this happening?
yeah, I don't know. Like, what's up with like that? To get back on aliens, what's up with that?
Yeah, let's get back on that.
Let's do it. What's up with that? There's a pilot that my cousin sent me a podcast to listen to, and it's an actual Air Force pilot, just like he went through the Top Gun program. He talked all about it, all this stuff, but he locked on to a foreign object.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
And he's like, woo, I got it. Like, he's all stoked, and like the way it moved was different than any type of aircraft he's ever seen. And the way he talks about it, he's like, yeah, I've never seen anything like this. Do you think it's possibly China's military or somebody else's military?
I mean, it's possible. I'd say that's the more likely.
You do?
I would say that's more likely, or I guess it could be like interdimensional or something, because I mean, they just turned CERN on today.
They did turn CERN on today.
Or
Explain
the
what-
Hadron Collider.
explain-
They didn't turn CERN on.
Yeah.
CERN is the institute, but
Explain what that is, because I kind of want to know.
I don't know much about it because I don't know. I'm not like a physics expert, but it's a particle collider, so it takes like tiny particles and shoots them at massive speeds at each other and they hit into each other. And basically, it teaches us like how like the building blocks of physics. It teaches us better how physics works. So, I don't know. That's as much as I know.
Interesting. They said, I saw a bunch of TikToks like saying, be prepared on July 5th to see some weird stuff because they're turning on the, whatever you said, the God Collider thing.
The Hadron Collider.
The Hadron Collider on July 5th to full max. But it is weird. Have you ever looked up, I looked up videos of like opening ceremony at CERN.
Yeah.
And it's like, it looks like crazy chants and like people dressed as goats and like then flying in the air. Like it looks like a seance of some sort.
What?
Yeah.
I do not believe that.
Yes. Give me your phone. I'll look it up on YouTube right now.
I'll look it up on YouTube.
Look up CERN seance dances. Just try that and see if something pops up. The one I saw, they were like all dressed up as goats and like weird stuff, and CERN seance opening ceremony or something like that. Try
This thing? Bizarre ceremony opens world's largest. Oh, that's a tunnel. I don't think that's CERN. It's a Switzerland rail opening.
It could have been one of those. They just called it CERN. I'll find it. I'm gonna find it at some point and send it to you.
Yeah, but are you sure it was at CERN?
Oh, it sure seemed like
it. This video?
Just click on it. Like no.
A spectacle for something.
No. It was.
There's a goat guy dressed as a goat.
Hit that. That seems more legitimate. This looks like it. Yep. This looks like it. Hold on. Abstract performance to celebrate Switzerland rail opening. Okay,
Yeah.
let me see. I believe this is it. See, that's what I saw, and they said it was CERN.
It's in Switzerland, but that's not CERN.
Yeah, see, that's what I saw, and they said, and if CERN is doing that, that is weird.
Yeah,
right?
I mean that's stupid and weird, but
That's the railway?
it's opening a rail tunnel.
The Swits are fucking nuts. You gotta press play.
It is playing.
Oh.
Yeah, it's weird, but nothing to do with physics. It's incredibly strange.
Yeah. That's why when I saw it, I was like, oh man,
Yeah.
some shit's going down at CERN right now. They're praying to the devil.
I
Yeah.
don't think physicists
Oh, hold on.
are too
Let me
big
make
on.
sure this shit is still going. Alright, good. It's still going.
Nice.
Thank God.
Bear with us on the hiccups for episode 1 of In the Closet with the Boys.
Is that what it's called
Or
now?
Boys in the Closet.
Is it going to be called that?
I hope not.
I don't want to call it
Send
that.
us your best ideas for names.
Yes.
all
Write it underneath the YouTube channel. The best idea for a name for being lame. No ginger shit. Right? No ginger stuff.
No.
And then, yeah. You can call, yeah. I was thinking Gunsel and Dingus, but no, I'm just kidding. That's a bad one.
The winner will get a shout out.
Actually, I'm going to make shirts, and you will get an extra large shirt.
You get whatever's left over that we can't sell at Target.
Exactly. Actually, I'll go to Target. I will buy trans rights.
The winner gets the trans rights or human rights.
Our human rights shirt. And so just...
With our signatures on it.
with our, that's perfect. Yes, that's exactly
Okay,
what
now
we'll
we're
do.
hitting our stride.
I agree.
It was really cool when we started this, and now it's really hot, and I have a fleece jacket.
It's hot as a motherfucker
Yeah.
in here. And I sweat every time I do a podcast.
Yeah.
I close the door. I make sure everything's quiet. Like this one, I was like, fuck it. Let's just open up the door, keep the door open, have the fan blow in.
The fan's
These
not
things-
blowing in.
It's not blowing in. I mean, you could literally get up and probably move it real
I
quick
need to, 'cause
to
I'm
where
really hot.
it's gonna come in.
I'm going to go grab another seltzer while I'm at it.
Okay, do your thing.
I'll be back.
It's been pretty fun having Lane here. He's been on vacation. He's from Dallas, Texas. And me and him went out to Koreatown with my wife and a couple friends. I think it was Saturday night. And hey, what prime minister did we see?
He was the Prince of Cambodia.
Okay, so we went out to Korean barbecue. We had some bomb Korean barbecue. It was the best spicy pork belly I've ever had. And then afterwards, Lane had met a girl at the Korean barbecue place before we got in, and she's like, "Hey, come to this club tonight." So we're like, okay, let's go, Lane. You know, it's your vacay. Let's see what you can do. Have some fun. And so we show up, and this club is popping, and there's the owner. Don't worry about it. It's just my clubs. Sorry, Bubba. I think I landed on Bubba. He's good. He's just like, what the fuck was that? So we're outside the club, and the club owner was right there, and he's like, $30 to get in, all you can drink soju, height, all the other stuff, or whatever.
Yeah,
new
it
stuff
was like
called.
flavored soju. I think it was their brand because you got the little buttons, right?
Yeah. And so, anyways, I was like, what about the girls? Let the girls in for free, and then me and him will pay. And he was like, you know what? Just go in for free.
I feel like you're letting go part of my.
Oh, and Lane
When
said,
I came in spitting.
Lane slid in and was, say what you said in Korean. Say it.
Huh?
Say it. Say some Korean. What'd you say? Say I'm the club owner.
Huh? Yeah. 안녕하세요.
What? What'd you say?
I
in
don't
Korean?
remember. I don't remember. 기억이 안 나.
All right, let's do this real quick. Say what's up, dude. How's your day been, bro? In Korean.
오늘 잘 지냈어?
오늘 잘 지냈어?
No. 오늘
오늘?
오늘. O like ONEL. 오늘.
오늘.
잘
잘
지내서.
지냈어.
That's close enough.
오늘.
Like 오늘 is today. So today. 잘 is good. So today good. 지내다 is like to spend or to be. Like to pass time. So it's like
Was that hard to learn?
today well spent time. And then you had to say it like this, so it sounds like a question. And then he's like,
Today
"Oh,
well spent time?
Yeah.
Like, can you
Yeah.
imagine talking like
Yeah.
that? Oh, Lane, today
Yeah.
well spent time?
Yeah. So
Wow. All right.
so imagine like comedy in Korea is very interesting because the punchline,
It's super cheesy.
well, it has to be delivered differently because it's like not the same order. Because the punchline almost comes at the beginning of the natural sentence.
So it's like time spent well. Like,
Yeah.
Or like that's the difference.
Sort of. Right.
Okay.
But I don't remember what I said to him.
But he was like, oh.
Maybe like, 그럼 여자 2명 너무 예쁘잖아. Like, oh, these two girls are really pretty. 무료로 입장하면 돼? Like, can they get in free?
Oh, that's
And
what's
yeah,
up.
but I probably said it in like nice, like really honorifics. I don't remember
Okay.
exactly what I said. But
Like, okay. So we went into the club, and it was popping, and it brought back some Korea vibes for me. My hand just started going.
it was cool, man.
I was like, dang,
and the
it's
people
on.
were friendly.
People were so friendly. We didn't have a table, and people like invited us to their table up top like real quick. And Lane had told me, or the guy had said, yeah, the Prince of Cambodia is in there. And this is a small club, and so we see where he's at. He's got these security guards around him, and I was like, that's pretty cool, Prince of Cambodia. And Lane's like, yeah, if he wasn't creating genocide
Yeah, because
right now.
Yeah, because it was my fault because I was mixing it up with Myanmar. Myanmar is where the genocide's going on, not
Oh.
Cambodia.
Okay.
So that was a long time ago. That was like the Khmer Rouge back in the day with Pol Pot. And I, for some reason in my head, probably because I was 3 bottles of soju deep at that point, I was just confusing the two. I mean, they're right next to each other. And
Okay.
he's not doing genocide.
He's a good guy.
I'm going to be honest, I
Probably
didn't even know they had a prince. I have no idea how Cambodia's government works.
I don't
They
either.
kind of just do whatever China tells them to do, to be honest with you.
Okay. He's rich though, right?
I assume
Rich
quite.
as hell.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And I was talking the whole time to Lane, like, how do I get up there and say hi to that guy? I think I told my wife that, maybe not you. I
Oh,
was
yeah.
Like, I was like,
I didn't even know where he was. I didn't realize who
I
he
want to
was.
just go talk to him,
Yeah.
just to see what his deal was. But in my head, I thought this dude's creating genocide in
Yeah.
this country, and I was like, maybe I shouldn't go talk.
Yeah. That's my bad for putting that idea in your head.
It's all good. Just creating
Look at my
conspiracies.
sunburn. Gee,
It looks fine.
look at that line though.
That looked like me in Cancun. Like, just in every picture I'm in, it's just. But what's good is you'll look good from now on. You'll be all tan.
Yeah.
That's the best part about it. If you had to choose a seltzer beer, what's your favorite seltzer beer?
Well, those are two different things, seltzers and beers. So I'm not sure how to go about picking those. My favorite seltzer.
Yes, your hard seltzer, if I'm being
Yeah.
specific.
The Pacific.
Have you guys ever seen Trailer Park Boys? I know you have, clearly. I wonder, I'm going to wait for the answer.
That's what I was waiting. I was like, I don't know when this is coming through, man. Comment below.
Yeah.
Even though we're not live streaming. We're going to go back and look. Edit the video. Incorporate your answers. And shoot the rest of this episode.
Yep. We're going to get there someday. Someday, I want call-ins. What would be great is if you could call in and leave a voicemail. I got to create like there's so much shit I got to do for this, but I'll do it.
We'll get there.
Until then, maybe doing a video email to where I could play it via email. As for now, you can email the drewcastpodcast@gmail.com. And then if I get any videos in, I'll play it for Lane when he's back in Texas. But either way, Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah.
So I have a problem with speaking. I always have. There was one time we were at Worlds.
Odyssey of the
Minds. We were
Shout out to my Odysseyers.
Yeah, what's up, Griffin? Woo.
Mr. Griffin, is he alive?
I don't know, but that guy's eyes look like this. Like, you didn't know which one to look.
Like 74 packs of cigarettes a day.
You didn't know which one to look at.
Yeah.
Every time he'd be like this eye. Like he would call me out. Like if I was staring at the wrong one, he'd be like, "Hey, it's this one." Yeah. But he was cool. I love that guy. He was
Once
awesome.
I became his favorite in the class, I never had to do anything.
Yeah.
And he would just like give me money to go buy stuff from the pop machine.
Yep.
And then everyone had
as long as you got him a Dr. Pepper or Pepsi.
Diet Pepsi.
Diet.
Because
that guy drinks them.
His gut was hilarious, man.
Oh man.
Anyway,
if he's alive,
R.I.P. Mr. Griffin.
If he's alive, then that's crazy. If he's alive.
How old was he then? That was
he had to have been
years ago.
He had to have been 59, 60.
60. I was gonna say like close to 60.
60, yeah. But he survived the Greensburg tornado. So there's an F5 tornado that came through Greensburg on May 4th, 2007. My last day of high school. And he told me he was in his house taking a nap. Dude, get this. He was in his house taking a nap and didn't know it was coming. And all of a sudden it came and it's taking his tiny little fucking house apart. And he wakes up, freaks out, clearly, grabs his mattress, goes in the bathtub and puts the mattress on top. It took off his roof, and like he survived fine. He did fine. But like, can you imagine just taking a nap and then fucking your house?
Like trying to run around your house with your crazy eye going one direction.
Just like where? Like exactly.
Where's my Marlboro?
Yeah, exactly. He's just sitting there holding that mattress and he's got smoking it.
Why are we talking about him?
Because he's the best.
Yeah,
he's a
but
legend.
before that we had.
Oh, I was talking about Rickyisms.
Yeah.
So Rickyisms on Trailer Park Boys is when you can't say your words right, and that's me. I always say the wrong word for the wrong thing, but Lane always knows what I'm trying to say. Most people do, but one time at Odyssey of the Mind, I don't know what I did.
You deleted your MySpace account, or your Facebook, or whatever it was back then.
And what did I say?
And instead of saying reactivate, you said that it was about time for you to regenerate your Facebook account. And it's really not that big of a faux pas, but for some reason everyone roasted you really hard.
Well, I just said I'm a fucking idiot. Like
you said I'm fucking dumber than a fucking box of rocks. And we were all getting ready to go to the mall, and you're like, I'm not going. And
it pissed me off that I messed up that word so bad. Like that happens to me. But Trailer Park Boys is the best, and Ricky will be like, "Yo, get me some jalapeno chips instead of jalapeno chips." He just says all sorts of stuff. J-Rock, baby, hear it.
So the recession's coming, huh?
The recession's here?
Are y'all ready to lose your jobs?
Yeah, exactly.
Don't worry, this is free content.
Yeah, exactly. We'll entertain you while you're moving out of your apartment into that or into that cardboard box underneath the bridge. But hey, I'm sure they'll let you keep your phones somehow. They'll let you keep anything that can control you. That's my imagination. But is the recession here, you think?
Yes, I would say we are definitely in the middle of a recession right now.
So in the middle means we are.
It's happening right now.
It's happening.
Yes.
But we won't know until.
We won't technically know until July 28th. So if anybody cares, does anybody care? Comment Comment below.
Oh man, I'm glad I didn't inhale that.
It's fucking hot.
Yeah, it is really, really, really hot. I should not have worn this.
Yeah, I put a fleece jacket. Anyway, so I'll explain it anyway because I'm clearly a chief economist. I did teach economics to really smart kids in South Korea, and I'm not sure.
That's good. I'm like a kid in South Korea.
Dude, I had to learn everything because I went to teach political science, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you have to teach macroeconomics." I'm like, I failed microeconomics, but I'll try. But macro's easier because it's more like government policy and like big shit, not like how a business operates. But anyway, so the way you know if you're in a recession, technically, is if the year's split up into quarters. So quarter one, first 3 months of the year, quarter two, quarter three, quarter four, etc. We just ended Q2, which is quarter two. It ended in June. But the figures for Q2 will not be released until July 28th. And the way you know if you're in a recession is if you have 2 quarters of back-to-back negative GDP growth. So your country's economy gets smaller 2 quarters in a row. That's considered a recession. And Q1 was negative. So GDP growth was negative. So we already have, what would be January, February, March. Those 3 months were negative.
Keep going. Sorry, I was thinking about your comment about how it's hot. It
It's
is so
hot.
fucking hot. But keep going.
And then we have April, May, June, that's Q2. So Q1 was negative growth. And then when the figures are released in a couple weeks, and we'll figure out what Q2's numbers were. If they were negative, that means that we have been in a recession, or we are in a recession right now. And the Atlanta Fed just released their, I think I was reading it earlier, their predictions or their models that says, yes, we were negative again. So essentially, almost guaranteed that we are currently in the midst of a recession. And the reason that this is happening is because our dumbass policymakers in the government decided that we needed to spend $1,000 billion trillion on handouts while no one was working and create the worst inflation that we've seen in 40 years. So what we did is we essentially created all this demand. We give everybody free money, and we don't have anybody producing any supply. So there's a ton of dollars in the economy chasing fewer goods. So that means things get more expensive. Now, the only way that you can kind of combat this is to get some of that money out of the economy. The way you do that is the Federal Reserve is going to raise interest rates. So that's how banks borrow between each other. And that affects things like your credit card interest rates, mortgage rates. It's kind of all a trickle down from the benchmark interest rate. I know this is kind of boring, but
no, it's good.
And so to get money out of the economy, to decrease demand, they raise interest rates so it's not as attractive to borrow money. Obviously, you don't want to borrow money if you're having to pay more interest on that loan. So, I don't know, if it was last month, the Federal Reserve increased the interest rate by, I think, 3/4 of a percentage point, which is a lot. It's basically been at zero for a long time. So you could borrow money for free almost. Now they're making it more expensive. Well, when they do that, that makes people less likely to want to take out loans to start businesses, to start projects, to hire people, to buy cars, whatever. So that makes the economy slow down. Right now we have an overheated economy. What they want to do is slow down the economy. The problem is inflation is so bad that to get rid of inflation, they have to increase the interest rates a ton. And when you do that, well, now people can't afford to take out loans. They can't afford to buy things. They can't afford to start businesses, hire people, so people lose their jobs. So what the Federal Reserve is trying to do is achieve what's called a soft landing, which means that they gradually increase interest rates, but not so much where unemployment is going to get crazy. The problem is they can't do that because inflation is so terrible.
So unemployment's going to get real bad?
I mean, I don't think it's going to be like 2008 levels, but yeah, I mean, it's like 3.5%, which is historically low.
Okay.
But I don't know, probably somewhere between 6 to 8%.
So that just means people are going to hold on to their money and not put it into the economy, because once they hear recession, people will back the fuck off.
Yes, people
spending.
start saving. Yeah.
AKA me. Like,
Yes.
I'm like, yo, babe, you ain't buying shit.
Yeah.
Like, we're saving money right now.
Anyway, so that's
Well-
where we are. We are I will bet you $100 that when the figures come out, they'll say, yeah, we're in a recession.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I don't think it's going to be as bad as 2008.
I hope not. I hope for America's sake. I think what it hurts the most is like the poor countries, because I think like, because basically rich countries like America, like China. Is China rich? Yeah,
No,
yeah. No,
China
they're not?
is very poor on a person-to-person basis.
Okay. Okay.
We're
Well,
about 7 times richer than them in that regard.
on the average, like the average American is like 7 times richer than the
Yes.
average Chinese person.
Yes.
Interesting. I could tell by what the clothes they wear. We saw a couple Chinese people at the market the other day, and you're like, yeah, I can tell which one's which.
I mean, the
Just by
thing is,
their
they're
style.
probably millionaires if they're living in Southern California. But
Yeah.
it still reflects.
I-
This was not a racist comment towards Chinese people. He's just like, how do you know they're Chinese people and not Koreans? Well, we were at a grocery store. Korean people would never, ever go out into a grocery in public dressed like that because they care deeply about appearances.
Their image
Chinese
is
people
huge.
don't really give a fuck.
Hence K-pop. Look at all those people.
Yes.
Like the dudes look like chicks.
Well, people are very healthy. They're, I mean, not mentally or whatever, but
Don't
they're-
they drink a lot?
They drink a lot, but they also, like, every good skincare product, every good makeup product, every good hair product, it's all coming from Korea now. So they just take a lot of pride in their personal appearance. The Chinese people don't really seem to care at all.
That's all right. Korean, yeah.
That's not to say there's not baddies from China. There's tons of baddies from China.
You lived in China.
Yeah,
How long did you live there?
I was only there like half a year, if that.
It sucked.
Yeah,
What city?
I was in Beijing.
And that's like the best city, supposedly.
Shanghai's the best city.
Shanghai.
Beijing's like the government city. It's like DC. Shanghai would be like New York or LA.
I got you.
But it was wild because the reason I left is because I was doing my master's there. And when I'd ask a question, I was doing it in Chinese foreign policy. And when I would ask a professor a question, he would, and if he didn't want to or could not answer, he'd say, "I'm sorry, I'm a member of the Communist Party. I cannot address that." And there was the government, since we were studying politics, was filmed all of our classes. The central government, because this was like the #1 university in China, so they're very, very concerned about what's being taught there. So essentially, I was in a propaganda program.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was like, "This is stupid. I'm out."
Okay.
So I went
okay,
back
you
to
clearly
Korea.
saw it.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think they have Bigfoot in China? Like, you know how we think Bigfoot exists out here?
Yeah, I mean, like actual Bigfoot or like an equivalent to Bigfoot,
Like a legit, like some people I listen to.
because it
some
would be
cons-
like medium foot. Because
Oh yeah. It'd be really Bigfoot.
Yeah.
I listened to a podcast called Tinfoil Hat, and there's some weird episodes that they have where they bring people on and they talk about Dogman. Like, Dogman. Like, I guess try to look it up real quick, Dogman on Google, and see if you can come up with anything. They had this guy on there talking about Dogman for a long time. And like I said, I love conspiracies. I love, ghost stories or anything like that. Like, I'm all about it. But like, so I listened and put Dogman legend theory
Yeah.
or something. But
Michigan Dogman.
can I read it? Real quick. Let me read this. In Michigan folklore, the Michigan Dogman was allegedly witnessed in 1887 in Wexford County, Michigan. The creature is described as a 7-foot-tall, blue-eyed, and amber-eyed bipedal
That means it walks on 2 feet.
canine-like animal with the torso of a man and a fearsome howl that sounds like a human scream. Hold on. Let me load it. Anyways, yeah. You ever heard of that?
No, but I mean, it sounds similar to like a werewolf.
Right? In 1887, a dude said he saw that. It kind of reminds me of the Mormons and how that dude was running through the woods and found the gold plates.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
When was that?
50 years ago. or
Hold on.
something like
When was that? When was that? What is that? John
John the Baptist.
John
Smith.
Smith.
No, is that right? Yeah, that's right, isn't it?
Dude, it looks like a little person. I'm not a robot.
I know, it makes me do this all the
Why
time.
in the fuck?
Oh yeah.
All right, let me read you John Smith.
Oh,
Oh,
it's a
that's-
little bit.
No, that's the
That's
the
the legit-
Pocahontas John Smith. Is that what his name was?
Mormon.
John Mormon. No.
No, I'm just gonna put John Smith.
Joseph. It was Joseph something.
Joseph Smith.
Joseph Smith.
Joseph Smith Jr. December 23rd, 1805, June 27th to June 27th, 1844. Damn, that dude only lived like 34 years.
Yeah.
He was an American religious leader and founder of Mormonism and the Latter-day Saints movement. When he was 24, Smith published the Book of Mormon. By the time of his death, 14 years later, he had attracted 10,000 followers and founded a religion that continues to the present with millions of global adherents. So I'm going to type in the gold, John Smith,
Plates.
gold plates, and see if I can read what they said.
Joseph Smith.
God, dude, I'm not a robot.
I know.
According to the Latter-day Saint belief, the golden plates, also called the gold plates, or in some 19th century literature, the Golden Bible, are the source of which Joseph Smith translated the Book of Mormon, a sacred text of faith. Some witnesses describe the plates as weighing from 30 to 60 pounds, gold in color and composed of thin metallic pages, engraved with hieroglyphics on both sides and bound with 3D shaped rings. Smith said that he found the plates on September 22nd, 1823 on a hill near his home in Manchester, New York, after the angel Moroni directed him to a buried stone box. He said that the angel prevented him from taking the plates, but instructed him to return to the same location in a year. He returned to that site every year, but it was not until September 1827 that he recovered the plates on his fourth annual attempt to retrieve them. He returned home with a heavy object wrapped in a frock, which he then put in a box. He allowed others to heft the box, but said that the angel had forbidden him to show the plates to anyone
That's
until
convenient.
until they had been translated from their original reformed Egyptian language. Smith dictated the text of the plates while a scribe wrote down the words, which would later become the Book of Mormon. Eyewitnesses to the process said Smith translated the plates not by looking directly at them, but by looking through a transparent sear stone in the bottom of his hat.
What is this, the Mad Hatter? Like,
Right.
Is this Johnny Depp?
Smith published the first edition of the translation March 1830 as the Book of Mormon, with a print run of 5,000 copies at a production cost of $3,000, or 60 cents per book. Smith eventually obtained testimonies from 11 men who said that they had seen the plates, known as the Book of Mormon witnesses. After the translation was complete, Smith said that he returned the plates to the angel Moroni. Thus, they could never be
Can I
examined.
read that word?
Moroni.
I guess. I don't know.
Moroni?
I don't know.
Thus, they could never be
Moron.
examined. Latter-day Saints believe the
Angel
account
moron.
of the golden plates as a matter of faith, while critics often assert that either Smith manufactured them himself,
Holy
or
cow,
that the
dude.
Book of Mormon
So hot.
witnesses base their testimony on visions rather than physical experiences. I dated a girl in Boise, Idaho, that was Mormon.
Boise, Idaho?
Yeah, I was
Not-
in Boise.
Not Boise, Colorado?
Nope, not
Okay.
Boise, Colorado, Idaho. And Boise sucks. Like, a lot of people love it. I'm not a fan, but if that offends you, I'm sorry. But yeah, she was crazy, dude. And she didn't believe in drinking soda and like all sorts of stuff. Well, I would say we are done.
Are we?
Are we done?
I don't think so. How much time have we done?
We've done like an hour.
No, we could probably do a little bit more. Give the people
Yeah,
what
but
they
I
want.
gotta edit all this and put it together. This is a little bit different, and your Mac will sleep soon unless plugged into a power outlet. Dang. Right on the money.
All right.
I could do
we're,
more.
We're ending on the story of the Mormons. Of you reading Wikipedia. That's a terrible way to end the podcast, man.
And enjoy your day, everybody. The Book of Mormon. No. I gotta plug my computer in, though, so I gotta unplug one of these. I could set this in the middle,
So what in the middle?
this microphone, because I'm gonna have to unplug one of them.
Oh yeah. Well, whatever you think. We can end it up. That's good to end it.
Yeah. We don't know the podcast name yet.
This is kind of an experiment, so
Yeah.
comment below.
Yeah. Basically, every 2 weeks, we're going to get together to talk about the random stuff that's going on in the world and also anything else that comes into my head and your head. And we hope you enjoy.
But really, if anybody does see this, which I don't know how many people see it yet,
You're right.
to comment what you would like us to talk about, if anything. If you think that we're just retarded, you can say that too.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I hope we're entertaining.
Learning disabled.
I hope you're at work and you're getting a couple laughs, or you're on a commute that you can't stand and this is making it enjoyable.
He hopes you're on a commute that you can't stand.
That's terrible. Yes. All right. Well, if you're on a commute that you can't stand, I hope this is enjoyable. Anyways, like Lane says, comment below. Let us know what we should name it. The winner will get that shirt. I'm gonna go buy it tomorrow and have Lane and I sign it. And then all you have to do is give me your address and we'll send it to you. And on that note, trans rights are human rights.